As I delved into my studies, the library's tranquility enveloped me, making me lose track of time. Exams loomed near, and the school's extended hours allowed me to immerse myself in my books. My nearby residence made the library an ideal sanctuary. That fateful evening, I settled in at 6 p.m., determined to conquer my exam prep. But as the hours slipped away, I found myself entranced, oblivious to the passing time. It wasn't until I heard the eerie footsteps outside the library at 10 p.m. that I snapped back to reality. My heart racing, I grabbed my belongings and made a swift exit. The long corridor seemed to stretch on forever as I hastened towards the main door. That's when I saw her, a mysterious woman standing at the end of the hall. My initial fear gave way to an inexplicable sense of comfort as I approached her. But my panic soon returned, and I blurted out, "Who are you?" before fleeing the scene. As I emerged from the school's main entrance at 3:22, a sigh of relief escaped my lips. Fatigue and hunger had taken their toll, but I pressed on. Yet, the desolate streets struck me as odd. The usual bustle was absent, replaced by an unsettling silence. I fixed my gaze on the ground, my eyes tracing the path ahead. That's when I noticed it, a shadow moving in the distance, despite the absence of anyone in sight. The time read 4, but the shadow persisted, its presence both fascinating and unnerving. As I raised my head, my heart skipped a beat. A woman lumbered ahead, her crippled gait sending a chill down my spine. Her slow pace allowed me to catch up, and I was met with a sight that made my blood run cold. Her tattered clothes, contorted limbs, and scattered body parts painted a picture of unspeakable horror. My instincts screamed at me to flee, but my legs were frozen in fear. I pointed at her, my silent plea for her to vanish into thin air. My heart raced with dread as she limped away, disappearing into the darkness. I breathed a sigh of relief, thinking I'd escaped the clutches of this eerie stranger. But my relief was short-lived. A distant scream pierced the night air, a voice crying out from the shadows. "This is true." The words trailed off, and everything went black. I was left with nothing but the darkness, my mind a blank slate. When I came to, I was lying on the road, my friend Naval standing over me, a look of concern etched on his face. He'd found me unconscious and brought me home, but the memory of that fateful night lingered. It wasn't until we moved into our new house that I uncovered the dark history of our building. A famous 132-year-old woman had lived there with her daughter in 1998, but their story was one of tragedy and loss. The daughter had vanished without a trace, leaving behind a grieving mother whose spirit still roamed the halls, searching for her beloved child. I realized that the strange woman I'd encountered was none other than the ghost of the mother, still trapped in her sorrow. The experience left me shaken, a chilling reminder that some secrets are better left unspoken. In the very same hallowed halls where Eden once walked, a young girl named Sophia had been a bright light, full of laughter and promise. Her mother, an elderly woman named Grace, had been a devoted parent, always attending school events and cheering Sophia on from the sidelines. But fate had other plans.